Prabhupada, Paramahansa, Parivracharya, Astotra Satasri, Srimad, His Divine Grace, Abhay Channa Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Anand Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासति गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की नवदीप धाम की श्री जगन्नाथ स्वामी की यमुना माई की श्रीमती तुलसी देवी की सामवेद भक्त वृंद की तय गौर प्रेमानंदी. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutle Srimati Bir Krishna Goswami Niti Namne Namo Hamsa Nikashaya Prabhupada Priyate Surda Shuddhi Nishtabhem Tasya Vakya Nuvadine. Good morning and Hare Krishna to everyone. It's very nice to see everybody finally after so long. It's like sunshine after darkness. So thank you all for attending this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class at Sydney Temple, Sri Radha Gopinath Temple, Sydney, Australia. Welcome to all our guests and attenders, viewers on Mayapur TV and YouTube. Hare Krishna to you all. This morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, Text 12. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nasta Prayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. Shri Shuka Uvacha Nama Paramasmai Purushaya Bhuyashe Sad Udbhava Sthana Nirodha Leelaya Grihita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam Antarbhavya Nupalakshaya Vartamane. Shri Shuka Uvacha Nama Parasmai Purushaya Bhuyashe Sad Udbhava Sthana Nirodha Leelaya Grihita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam Antarbhavayanu Palakshaya Vartmane. Shri Shuka Uvacha Nama Parasmai Purushaya Bhuyashe Yad Udbhava Sthana Nirodha Leelaya Grihita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam Antarbhavayanu Palakshaya Vartmane. Shri Shuka Uvacha Nama Purasmai Purushaya Bhuyashe Sad Udbhavastana Nirodha Leelaya Grita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam Antarbhavayam Palakshaya Atme Shri Shuka Uvacha Nama Parasmai Purushaya Bhuyashe Sad Udbhavastana Nirodha Leelaya Grita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam Antarbhavan Palakshya Vartmane Shri Shuka Uvacha Nama Purushaya Bhuyashe Sadudbhavastana Nirodha Leelaya Grihita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam Antarbhava Palakshya Vartmane. Okay, so word for word. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, Nama, offering obeisances. Parasmai, the Supreme. Purushaya, personality of Godhead. Bhuyashe, unto the complete whole. Sad Udbhava, the creation of material world. Sthana, its maintenance. Nirodha, and its winding up. Leelaya, by the pastime of. Grihita, having accepted. Shakti, power. Tritayaya, three modes. Dehinam, of all who possess material bodies. Antabhavaya, unto he who resides within. Anupalakshya, inconceivable. Vartmane, one who has such ways. So we've got the translation and the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay, translation. Sukadev Goswami said, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who, for the creation of the material world, accepts the three modes of nature. He is the complete whole residing within the body of everyone, and his ways are inconceivable. So we can all repeat. Sukadev Goswami said, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who for the creation of the material world accepts the three modes of nature. He is the complete whole, residing within the body of everyone, and his ways are inconceivable. Okay, so we have the purport, short purport. This material world is a manifestation of the three modes of goodness, passion and ignorance. And the Supreme Lord, for the creation, maintenance and destruction of the material world, accepts three predominating forms as Brahma, Vishnu and Shankara or Shiva. As Vishnu, he enters into every body materially created. As Garbhodakshai Vishnu, he enters into every universe. And as Kshirodakshai Vishnu, he enters the body of every living being. Lord Shri Krishna, being the origin of all Vishnu Tattvas, is addressed here as Para Puman or as Purushottam, as described in the Bhagavad Gita 15.18. He is the complete whole, The Purusha avatars are therefore his plenary expansions. Bhakti yoga is the only process by which one can become competent to know him, because the empiric philosophers and mystic yogis cannot conceive the personality of Godhead. He is called Anupalakshya Vartamane, the Lord of the inconceivable way, or Bhakti Yoga. So, Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha. Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Va Evacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so let me get what I've written down, some points. This morning I'm reminded of this question that a disciple of His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked him. Actually, he was being interviewed. And the disciple asked him, what is the most challenging or interesting aspect of being a spiritual master? Or sometimes, I think it is actually the challenging aspect. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj replied, he said, the most challenging aspect is, for a guru, a spiritual master, is that his disciple is sometimes more spiritually advanced than he is in coming to grapple. So I'm reminded of that because this morning I'm giving class with so many of us sitting here who are more knowledgeable than I am in many respects. So it is challenging. It can be challenging. Hopefully you will be able to gain something out of this class. Now, with this text, there is the chapter is labeled the process of creation, and Maharaj Parikshit has asked this question to Sukadev Goswami about the process of creation. And before he even answers, Sukadev Goswami he offers his obeisances and prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is addressing particular aspects of the personality of Godhead. That he is actually seeking permission or prayers, also a certain empowerment that he is able to answer this question about the creation of this, entire creation basically. But this one mainly is referring to the material creation. And the three aspects he addresses is, first one is the personality of Godhead who accepts the three modes of nature to create the material world. So that's the first point that he addresses, personality of Godhead. And the second one is the personality of Godhead, the one who resides within the bodies of everyone. So that's the second one. And the third one is as the one whose ways are inconceivable. So 3 points are noted here. One who accepts the three modes of nature for material creation, as one who is complete whole residing within everybody. And the third one is the one whose ways are inconceivable. So he particularly addresses this aspect of the personality of Godhead. Now, even before we give a class, we pray to our spiritual masters, we pray to Srila Vyasadeva. If we're giving a class on Srimad Bhagavatam, we seek empowerment. In fact, in any of the prayers, in any of the any of our prayers or pujas or anything auspicious, we cannot function on our own. So we have to pray to personality of Godhead, to our spiritual masters, to empower us, to give us the strength and the intellect to conduct our prayers or deliver the class or something. So here we see a perfect example of Sukadev Goswami who's doing that. He is reciting his own prayers, and they're quite beautiful actually. And he pinpoints that particular aspect of Godhead that he wants to accept. So on the first point, it is written in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3.5.50, it says, Tvam na suranam asi sanvayanam kutastha adhya purusha purana tvam deva shaktyam gunakarma yono retastvav ajayam kavim adhoja. So what does that mean? This actually addresses the point. The translation of this particular shloks is, you are the founder of all the demigods and the orders of different gradations, yet you are the oldest and you are unchanged. In fact, that one is quite a very, very nice point where it says you are the oldest and you are unchanged. Lord Krishna is the oldest. And he is unchanged. And if you actually happen to see him in a vision or in a dream or even imagine, like I've had some dreams, the first thing that actually did occur to me, it's a fact, it's true. First thing that occurred to me was, you're the oldest. It just automatically comes. Because there is no one who's been around for longer than he is. And he knows everything. He is everything, and he is the oldest. It just automatically comes up, which is very interesting. So, to continue that particular shlok, the meaning of it, O Lord, you have no source or superior. You have impregnated the external energy with the semen of the total living entities, yet you are unborn. So that's one place where it's mentioned that he impregnates the material energy. Now we've been discussing this chapter, this canto, for a while now. So you know that Lord enters this universe through Karanodaksha Vishnu, and then Garbhodaksha Vishnu, then Kshirodaksha Vishnu. And we've also addressed a little bit about how he impregnates the material energies so that all the living entities are born. In the Bhagavad Gita also, just to reiterate, there are many places it's mentioned that he does this. He impregnates the material energies in order to create. One of them is also Bhagavad Gita 14.3. Mama yonir mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadami aham sambhavash sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bhavata. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making it possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. So I repeat that, it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. So here Lord Krishna also says it in his own words, I'm responsible for it. Now, in the Srimad Bhagavatam also, when we continue in Canto 3, he actually describes how he does it, the process. Basically, when the dissolution happens, when there is inhalation, there is two types mainly. One is a temporary one and one is a long one. Whenever there is Lord Brahma's night, then everything is there is a dissolution. And then when Lord Brahma dies, and then the universe is annihilated totally. Now what happens to all the living beings, they merge into the Lord. And they stay merged over there. until there is time for creation. They merge into the Mahavishnu, the Mahatattva. So before there is, there's two mentioned. Sometimes they stay there for months, a few months, celestial months. And sometimes before all living beings are created, they stay there for 1,000 celestial years before the Mahavishnu impregnates the living entities and they start being born. With this particular chapter 14.3 in the Bhagavad Gita, there is a basic explanation that the creation of material world is a combination of Kshetra and Kshetra Jnana, which means it's a combination of the body and the spirit soul. Combination of the material nature and the living entity. So the material nature will be obviously the three modes of nature. It has many elements. It starts with, the elements will start off with the earth, the fire, the sky, the water, the air, sky, water, and what was the earth, all the other five, and then mind, intelligence, fourth ego, and then everything else. So it's a combination of those elements plus the spirit soul. And it's made possible by the Lord himself. And this chapter I'm actually quoting from Bhagavad Gita 14.3. He says, he impregnates, over here it says the same thing. He impregnates the Brahman with a seed of living entities, the mode of nature, or the Mahatattva. And this was interesting. When I was reading this Bhagavad Gita, in this particular chapter, it was mentioned here there are 24 elements. And when I referred the same thing to the Srimad Bhagavatam, then it mentioned in there that 23 elements. So it's a question that I might have for a more learned souls or our spiritual master, why there was a difference between, well, it's not really important. It won't make any difference to our bhakti. But I will still chant Hare Krishna. But it did mention in the Bhagavad Gita there are 24 elements of the material energy, and in the Srimad Bhagavatam it mentioned 23. So Bhagavad Gita said 24. And anyway, so what happens is these elements are combined, and then the spirit soul is it's combined with the spirit soul, and then that's when the creation happens. Another interesting one that is mentioned is in the Brahma Samhita. So Lord Brahma mentions in this particular verse, Ekyo Pesaura Chaitam Jagadanda Kotim Yachaktirasti Jagadanda Chayaya Dantaha Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Now that means I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is the original personality of Godhead. By his partial plenary expansion, Mahavishnu, he enters into the material nature and then into each and every universe as Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and then as Shirodakshay Vishnu, into all elements, including every atom of matter. And such manifestations of the cosmic creation are innumerable, both in the universe and the individual atoms. So this is just three. When we actually open our Shastras to read, and thanks to Gurudev, he's given me so many books, and when I start reading them, it's quite a lot, actually. It's very hard to digest, but I found that every time I turned a page, every time I turned a book, this particular reference of material creation was there all the time. And basically they all said the same thing, that he is responsible. Anyway, when I then I started reading, what happens is there's a Lord Vishnu for every universe, as you all know, the Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And what happens is when the Mahavishnu has got all these elements, all the living entities are merged into him, and it's time for creation, he actually distributes the living entities into each of the Garbhodaya Vishnu in each of the universes. So they are all in there in the Garbhodaya Vishnu. So basically all the living entities are divided. And then there's a period of you wait for a little while. And then say 1,000 celestial years, And then the creation begins by each Garbhodaya Vishnu, and starting off with Brahma, and then the demigods, and then obviously Manu, who is the father of all humankind. Now, the question last time in the class was, someone asked me about Manus. Well, Manu is the father of mankind, and in the easiest way to describe it, in the Hindi Sanskrit, we refer to mankind as Manushya. So that comes from the word Manu. Basically, it just means mankind and humans. And that's it starts off with the first one, which is Manu. And it's used quite often as Manushya in Sanskrit, which just refers to humankind. So that's the material nature being created. Now, we would want to know, basically, there's a very interesting point that I found. Basically, why would, we all know that there's a creation, but why is it there? Actually, I might put this question to anyone here if anyone wants to answer. Why is there material creation in the first place? Why produce the living entities? Okay, yes? Yes, that is correct. Yes, and that's Krishna's plan. It's a divine plan. First reason, as Prabhu has mentioned, that he facilitates the jiva soul, the soul, individual souls, to they get a chance to enjoy their senses. Sense gratification, because they're jiva souls and they want to enjoy certain aspects of material life. So the Lord is so kind. He actually lets us have that opportunity. So each and every one of you who are born here, unless you are directly from Vaikuntha Dham, if you are, please tell me so I can fall at your feet. Otherwise, we have made this mistake. We want to be here because we want to enjoy certain aspects of sense gratification. We must have had some karma in the past, and that's why we are here. But there is another aspect to this plan also. He gives us this opportunity to this life. These living entities are produced so that we can have realizations, spiritual realizations, and go back to Godhead. So that's the other side of it. One is the sense gratification, and the other side is that we get a opportunity to chant Hare Krishna and advance ourselves spiritually, and then we go back. And but above that, there's another reason, a very good reason, and that's a little bit, should I say, selfish on Lord Krishna's part. He is a Sachidananda Vigraha, as we all know. It is not actually for our enjoyment, but he produces us for his own enjoyment. So he's basically enjoying us through us. He is the ultimate boss, actually. So this particular aspect of material creation is this question that Parikshit Maharaj actually asked is a very deep one. It might look on the top, why does he want to know about material creation? But actually the actual essence of this particular point is that it's there for us to realize that we have been created, the material creation is there for Lord Krishna's enjoyment, not for our individual. No. At the end of the day, we get miserable anyway. We all know that. Everything comes with a price. If you want to enjoy a nice house or a nice car, you have to pay the price. So we kind of realize that it doesn't give us much pleasure at the end of the day. But with Lord Krishna, he enjoys unlimited. So then the jiva soul realizes, after experiencing and going through all the stages, he realizes, okay, well, it was there for Lord Krishna's enjoyment. So this particular point is there for us to realize that that is the constitutional position of a living entity, is to dance as like a puppet for Krishna. We are here for his enjoyment, for his sense gratification. So That's a very interesting concept. He really wants to be, the whole entire creation is Lord Krishna's playground. And that's his divine plan, that's his plan. Actually, there's a very interesting story about a student of mine, since I've been a high school teacher. She was not in Bhaj Govind's class. She came a little bit later. Bhaj Govind was also in the same secondary school. He's a senior to this girl. And she had this interesting dream about my deities, and she came and told me, my deities seem to have a strange effect on people. They go to whoever visitors come to my house, they go and pay a visit. So this particular student, one was a lawyer, working for a lawyer, Amanda. She's a devotee here. She came to my house, and my deities went and paid a visit at her at night, and she came very shivering and shaking early in the morning while I was preparing breakfast, and she said, "Your deities are Harinam deities. They came to my room and they were dancing. They are dancing deities." And I said, "Okay. That's good." Then she wanted to come to and see these deities all the time. Anyway, this student from the same secondary school as Bhaj Govind, she also had a very interesting dream. These deities went to her and played the flute. They never played the flute for me, but they played the flute for her, which I think is very unfair. But anyway, so she told me, and she knew these were the deities, my deities, because they were wearing my deities' clothes, and she was the one who chose the deities' clothes to wear that morning. Anyway, she was concerned about everybody, and she asked Lord Shyamsundar and said, what about this particular person? What about this particular person? And Lord Shyamsundar replied, "Don't worry about them. I have a plan for each one of them." So coming back to this divine plan, Lord Krishna has a plan for everyone. And he was telling this particular girl, "Don't worry, I have a plan for everyone." And then he played his flute yet again, which I'm very jealous, and put her to sleep. But anyway, you don't want to be put to sleep by his flute, because that means you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya. So unfortunately, she didn't make it to a devotee stage. She went back into material life. I was trying to preach to her, but in any case, there's a lesson learned there. The flute is there to wake you up, not to put you back to sleep. But the point that I was trying to make is that Lord Krishna has a plan for everyone. So let's come to the second point. The second point is that he is the complete whole residing within the body of everyone. And the famous one that we can quote is in the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna mentions that he is the seed-giving father. He is the seed-giving father. And this particular shlok is the same chapter 14.4. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradapita. It should be understood, all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. So, how does this tie up with him being a whole being in everybody? That's Krishna, and he is present in everyone. So this is what it means, that Krishna is the seed-giving father. He is present in everyone. And I was listening to this was last week sometime, I was listening to a class by Srila Prabhupada, and he was giving a lecture on the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 12. Where was it? I think it was Bombay, and in 1974 sometime. And he mentioned that we should see Krishna in everyone. And there he actually described how. He said, the example he used was very nice. He said, we are present in the gross body. And the gross body has these material elements. Earth, fire, water, etc. The five. And he said the gross body, it's like a coat that you wear. It's like a coat. And then we also have the subtle body made up of the finer elements, which is the mind, intelligence, and the ego. Now the subtle body comprising of those three elements is within the gross body. It is like the shirt that you wear underneath the coat. So you've got the coat and then you've got the shirt, the gross body and then the subtle body. And then the living entity is encompassed within the gross body and the subtle body, the soul. So Srila Prabhupada's point was that you shouldn't see that person as the coat, the gross body. You shouldn't see the person as the shirt. You should see that person inside the dress, inside. And that actually comes with spiritual knowledge or spiritual advancement. So we're coming back to this, we're trying to explain this point, that he is the complete, Lord Krishna is the complete whole residing within the body of everyone. Not in the, and he also mentioned, Lord Krishna never said that somebody's gross body is particularly dear to him. Never said that gross body, somebody's body is particularly. He's always said the living entity is particularly dear. Living entity, and it's all across the board. No one gets special mercy. And so Srila Prabhupada was trying to say, you get to that stage of spiritual advancement, you have that broad vision and broad perspective of seeing Krishna in everyone. Now, that actually means all living entities, whether it's an animal, whether it's a sannyasi, or it's Lord Brahma, or it's a mere woman, And that actually does, when I was actually listening to this class, I contemplated on it because Prabhupada said we should see the pure soul. We should not be looking at the gross body or the subtle body. And there is a controversy about ladies being, sannyasis or diksha giving gurus. And the reason was they can't do it because, they're females. It's not allowed. And I don't want to speak too much on it because it is a very delicate topic. But this particular class actually made me think, because Prabhupada wants us to see each one as a soul. He doesn't really want us to see the gross body, Besides, I had another thought, and I said, well, this is for, ISKCON is for the Western side also, Western part of the world. And Western thinking with the ladies is, if the ladies don't get recognized or this kind of equal treatment where we are all the souls, if, ladies come to this, Western ladies, they might not join the Krishna conscious movement actually. They might reject it. So it's a very interesting, I was thinking about it, because we go out and we preach, and I'm sure you all preach, you're book distributors, we've got some book distributors here. When you speak to the Western ladies, you can never say to them, oh, well, you have to take a back seat, and you cannot, take the lead. But in my personal opinion, we are here in Chaitanya, Mahaprabhu's movement, and we need all the helping hand we can get. I come from Fiji. And over there, the Christianity is thriving. In fact, they are forcing some Hindus to give up their Hindu religion, and they're throwing out the Ramayana, and they're turning into Christians. But basically, they're using I'm not saying we should do that. Actually, we shouldn't do that. Use every trick in the book. Force people to convert. But still, we need all the helping hands. The point is that we need all the helping hands we can get. Especially in times like this where people are waiting for Krishna. They are actually looking for answers on what's happening with the world. And, there's certain, empowered ladies, and if they're sitting at home twiddling their thumbs and being told to be the guru matas of their own children, then, our movement, we are taking some valuable preachers out of our circulation, and that is a little sad. In my opinion, that's my personal opinion. Anyway, so coming back to this second point, he's saying, I actually wrote it down here. He said, Srila Prabhupada's words, we need to have this broad vision of seeing the soul within the gross body and the subtle body. We need to have this broad vision to see the living entity, not the body. Otherwise, we have imperfect vision. So we have to come to everyone. Spiritual advancement is a gradual process. So we are not criticizing anyone, to be honest. No one is perfect. And we are all in different stages of spiritual life. And we can always have this aspiration to advance spiritually enough to have this perfect vision of looking at seeing living entities inside everybody. And the last point was Krishna acts in ways which are inconceivable. Now, there were two shlokas that I came across. One was mentioned in this particular text, 15.18. 15.18 says, Yasmat I can't even read my own writing. Yasmat sharam atitoham aksharad api chottama atosmi loke vedicha pratita purushottama. The translation is, because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest and I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person. So basically what he's trying to say is, I'm the greatest. And no one is above him. In other words, he's inconceivable. We can't even, when we were looking at the material creation just for this universe, it's so complex. We cannot conceive the greatness of Lord Krishna. And he says beyond that, the fallible and the infallible. The fallible means those living entities in the material world. And the infallible are those living entities in the spiritual world. Both. There's no match for Krishna. We cannot conceive the things and how he does it. And he does, somewhere in the Bhagavad Gita also, he says, all the creations is just a spark of his splendor, small spark. Entire. And the best way I look at it is when I look at the grains of salt. You know, when we use the salt for cooking. And you see how many grains can we even count? Or the sand in the ocean. We can't count. The amount of creations, Lord Krishna, and the expansions. And it's just like the grains of salt that we see, or the grains of sand. It's unlimited. We cannot conceive. We cannot. It's difficult to, and it's actually, and then anyway, at the end of the day, there's the second text in chapter 10.42. Atava bahu naitevya kim jnanatena tvar arjuna vistabhyam idam krishnam ekam seva sito jagat. That means, but what need is there, Arjun, for all these detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support the entire universe. So he's actually telling Arjun, where is the need for you to know about all these creations? He is inconceivable. It's hard. In fact, this topic I found particularly hard myself. If anyone wants to talk about Lord Krishna's pastimes, we are very good. We adapted to that very nicely. When it comes to the creation, the manus, and all the sciences of it, the atoms, the whole procedure, and then there's a spiritual energy there as well. It's the Vaikuntams, and there's too many things, and it's just very hard to grasp just by reading the Vedas. For me personally, I don't know about the rest of you, but anyway, Krishna solves the problem for Arjuna. And therefore he solves the problem for us. He says, there's no need to know about these things. Just understand that I'm there everywhere. And then at the conclusion of this chapter, it says, you don't really need to know, of course, but if you really do want to understand Krishna, just take up devotional service. Just take up devotional service, and under the guidance of a bonus spiritual master, of course. And, become a devotee. And it's actually through pure devotional service that one can know Krishna. The gopis are not interested in knowing the material creation anyway. The gopis, they won't ask, how is the planet created? How the living entities created? They won't ask these things. We're very lucky that we are here under Gopinath's mercy. This deity is Gopinath himself. There is no need really, according to this Bhagavad Gita, he is telling Arjun, there is no point in understanding how things exist in separate opulence and grandeur. He says, pure devotees therefore concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness, in full devotional service. And therefore, they are always situated in transcendental position. So we just need to serve Krishna. And serving Krishna doesn't mean you have to serve exactly as somebody else does. That's another very important aspect. My spiritual master has mentioned this in his many classes, is that we have to adapt to our psychophysical nature. Doesn't mean we are psychos. It just means that we have individual rasas with Krishna. We have individual empowerments. Some of us might be very good at book distribution. Some might be good kirtaniyas. Some might be good cooks. Some might be good preachers. Some might be very good cleaners. There's one Mataji who loves to clean stuff. She just loves it. And it's just it's her nature. Everything has to be spick and span. And my sister is also very spick and span. I'm scared to go in my sister's kitchen sometimes. She has everything very, fantastically organized. Her own daughter is not allowed to cook, But that's another thing. We need Krishna. We relate to Krishna in our own way. And that's what we should be doing. And sometimes it takes time to understand actually what it is that we want to do for Krishna. I started off when I was not even a devotee. I made some laddus for Krishna. I was in New Zealand and there was a temple opening. The New Zealand Auckland temple was about to open, and the Matajis, they were making thousands and thousands of laddus. And that was the first time I entered in Lord Krishna's big kitchen, not the small one. Anyway, after that I found myself initiated. So the laddus are nothing to be sneezed at. They can get you initiated. You make laddus and you find yourself initiated. And then I found after initiation I was here and I started off with the paraphernalia. So I was your paraphernalia devotee for a while. For those of us who are new here, I was doing the paraphernalias. I was living in Randwick at that time, and one Mataji came and said, "You are driving so early in the morning, 4 o'clock, just to do paraphernalias." And I said, "Of course." Because to me, that was a very important service. But that was the first service I did for Radha Gopinath here. I did the paraphernalias. Anyway, it's been very interesting journey. After that, cooking and then kirtans and then some classes and then preaching, little bit of this and little bit of that. I'm scared to do dressing, of course. I'm talking about our rasas in our particular service we want to do for Krishna. It's not actually only confined to the temple, obviously. I mean, I've also done these programs for Guru Maharajas and devotees, cooking for Guru Maharajas in my home. It's Damodar, month of Damodar. But particularly dressing here is a little bit scary for me because you have to climb up on the altar. And I'm not very good at that stuff. But when it comes to Radha Gokulananda in Cessnock, I'll jump at the chance. Plus, this looks like my Shyam Sundar in a very huge form. So I love to dress him there. But it just depends on what you are okay with. And Krishna's okay with that as well. He's pretty happy. And another thing is he never forgets. A tiny service you do for Krishna, he never forgets that. Anyway, that concludes our class. Hopefully we've learned something from this. Are there any questions? I'm not very technically knowledgeable, but anyway, if there are any questions? Yes? No? Okay. All right. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Puran ki Jai.